Hey everybody, this is Alan Fine and I'm here with Louis Lewis, the CEO of St. Lucia Tourism Authority. He had a press conference with his team. We heard all that's coming up, the new, what's new and who's actually arriving, who's the right guest. And we're going to talk all about that here on Insider Travel Report. Louis, thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, you're welcome, Alan.
So this morning you brought out the dogs and the pony and they did the show. Let's talk we've got a lot of travel advisors who are really interested. What is it you want them to know to start off with?
Okay, well, we've all put in our tourism hats together and we actually strategize in the direction in which we are moving as a tourism destination, because for us, tourism is the lifeblood of the solution economy. And we are doing it right, after many years of studying it, and, we are unfolding it in the correct way after having, paid particular attention to what makes it move. Last year, the government would have passed legislation that grants incentives for development areas within the tourism industry. And because we are inviting international investors to participate in our product development, they have put a number of incentives that allow for rebates and waivers of duties and taxes for persons who are investing. More than that, if you are investing and purchasing items from local suppliers, it gives you further incentives, further tax write-offs to encourage the profitability of those investments. But we are also strategically pointing the destination from a tourism standpoint into the area of regenerative tourism and sustainable development. And so there's a third layer if you are satisfying the sustainable development objectives of the country, and that gives you the greatest level of incentives that you could attain for development within the sector. Our marketing activities actually mirrors that strategic intent, so that we are promoting and encouraging our trade partners to lower the carbon footprint and contribute towards the preservation of the environment. We are encouraging them to reuse, recycle, repurpose, so that we can lower our carbon footprint and be part of the bigger conversation about the preservation of this planet that we all live on. We are using our natural assets as yet an attractor for persons desirous of looking for a warm weather experience, so that people who are looking for sun, and sea, people who are looking for soft adventure, people who are looking for culinary experiences, we are encouraging our potential visitors to look for those options in St. Lucia, which we think and we are sure that we have strong representation in those particular markets. And that is the strategy. More than that, as tourism develops, there is a clear intent on the government's part that we want more St. Lucians to participate in that development. And the government has developed an agency to allow St. Lucians to own part of the product areas. So that
they're incentivized.
They are also incentivized, but not just incentivized by giving them grants and low-cost loans, but also correcting all the normal market issues that investors would have had. So public liability insurance is a mandatory component of that, and the government is making funds available for that. Value for money, the cost of operations, and making sure that the products that are coming to market are all market ready and attractive. So you're going to see a whole new suite of activities and adventure and experiences that reflect this St. Lucian-ness in the product. And when I say this St. Lucian-ness, I'm talking about an incorporation of our heritage and our culture as part of those offerings. And if you look at our cuisine, for example, it has influences from all parts of the world where, the trade winds brought us together. So you can see Indian, African, Asian.
Explain that.
Yeah.
The Thai represents this.
Yes, and the Thai represents it. So, we say in St. Lucia that if you're looking for somewhere that represents the discipline of the British, the passion and romance of France, the flair of India, and the strength and resilience of Africa, this is what St. Lucia presents to you. And it's all infused in the way we speak, the way we walk, the way we live our cuisine, and the way we express ourselves. So this is that essence of what you can get out of a vacation that only St. Lucia can give you.
Now, everything you said is impressive and important. Yeah. Now, we got to remember our audience are travel advisors who aren't necessarily investing, but they're seeing your investment which is incentivizing them to sell the island.
Yes.
Let's continue in the vein of the travel advisor and really explain to them why St. Lucia.
Now, the travel advisor is particularly important for us. Very, very important. I'll tell you why. We are marketing St. Lucia as a vacation option. Our budgets are small. If we had to just market, broadcast, to anybody who can listen, we would have to deal with the issue of converting somebody who has no intention of taking a vacation to take a vacation. However, if you go to the travel agents, they already have the captive audience of people who have made a decision that I want to take a vacation. And so the question becomes where. So we're getting over the first hurdle and we're going straight to the source. The second thing is that travel these days, in the advent of the post-COVID pandemic, the advent of some difficulties that people have encountered, foreclosures and, these sort of uncertainties, you need to have the confidence of somebody who can get you back to your place of residence should anything unfortunate happen. And we want to ensure that the experience from start to end, even if it is abbreviated for whatever act of God or whatever act of nature that transpires, that you can get back to your place of stay so that St. Lucia remains a permanent good experience in your mind. Every visitor who comes to St. Lucia has to become a marketing agent, and that is the intent of our marketing strategy, hence the reason why we go to the travel advisors.
That's great. That's great music to their ears.
Yeah.
Also,
in addition to that, we have developed programs where travel advisors could climb to become St. Lucia experts. So we call it SLEX, where you become a St. Lucia expert in selling. And what we do is that we drive business from people who have made casual inquiries about St. Lucia to the travel agents so that they can get the business to sell, onto St. Lucia.
So how can they get on that list? Where do they go?
You go to stluciatravel.com and all the information is there for the travel agents. They can sign in and become part of our programs. And we do it by geographic region, so that if in the US somebody from California makes an inquiry, we feed it over to our St. Lucia specialists within that area, and likewise for Canada and UK, Europe, France, Germany, around the globe.
No, that's really important. So travel advisors, you realize that you can get on their referral list. That's a good thing.
Yes, and it's particularly important for us because while we can direct the person who is making an inquiry about St. Lucia to a travel advisor, the travel advisors have people who are looking for just a warm weather escape. So we are getting a greater return, on that investment. I will go a step further. A lot of the hotels in St. Lucia at the topper end are high priced. The commissions are heavier. So therefore, travel advisors...
Win-win.
Yeah, so win-win-win for all three of us. Yeah. Right. So, they can see St. Lucia as a desirable option.
But also repeat, the way you've set it up, they're going to want to come back.
Yes, and we actually do have...
Once you learn about it, it's worth it.
Yes, it is worth it. And we have a very high repeat ratio now. It's as high as 20%. 20% of the people who are coming to St. Lucia have been before. And I think that's the strongest endorsement that we can get as a tourism destination. So it's to keep that flow, continuous, and everybody wins.
Anything else you want to tell 128,000 travel advisors while you got them?
Yeah, well, I'd just like to remind them that if you're looking for this gem in the Caribbean, the green heart of the Caribbean, the sustainable development island, the one that is very conscious about the preservation of the environment, and we can give you some unique experiences that are not available anywhere on the planet. This is St. Lucia. This is St. Lucia.
Thank you for talking to us.
You're welcome.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.